Hi all, my name is Garrett. I'm an audio engineer who primarily works with audiobook narrators, and I want to break down, in case you're ever thinking about being either what I do or an audiobook narrator, my costs for what I do and why they are that way. Essentially, my job is to make sure that your audio sounds good and is ready to be published onto the major audiobook publishing platforms like Audible or Spotify. Now, there's a lot of work that goes into this. So I charge about $100 per finished hour. And I'm kind of on the lower end of things because I'm still what I would consider relatively new to the industry, so I charge slightly less. Now you might be thinking, hey, that's kind of a scary amount because books can get up to be very long. The rough estimate that I have kind of found over time has been every 10,000 words is give or take another hour of audio, depending on the speed of the narrator. Now, here's where things get tricky and why it is $100 per hour. Finished hour, not me working hour. So to start off, I'm listening to your whole audiobook because I need to make sure that there's no issues with your pronunciation or you stumbling over words, issues with the recording or anything, stuff that I'm going to bring up with you as we talk about the book. Secondly, so that's already 1 hour's worth of time per finished hour. Secondly, I'm going through editing everything, making sure your voice sounds good in every chapter, because sometimes per chapter we switch things up a little bit and I need to adjust. And that can be another half an hour or so. Then I'm going through fixing, making sure all of the levels are right, ready to go for final publishing. What this comes down to is for every finished hour that I produce, I'm spending 2 to 3 hours, depending on export times as well, on every chapter. And you have to consider every time I'm exporting, I can't really continue working on other stuff. What that breaks down to for me is give or take $33 to $50 an hour before taxes, which then I also have to consider because I'm losing a good deal of that money to taxes when taxes come around. Now, if you're looking at me and you're going, man, that's a lot of money. I don't charge that much, so I can't really pay that much. I have two things to say to you. Firstly, you have two options here. Charge more, or you learn to do this yourself. At which point, you are going to learn that you need to charge more. But I'll leave you with this. If you are an audiobook narrator, one thing you can do is, if you are charging more and you're paying me to do this, is that you can then go and focus on your next audiobook, record that while I'm working on your last one, and it's a lot easier and more time management wise good for you. So that's why I cost so much. Hope that helps.